Look at that. Wow. What's behind Colin? What did they turn up? Oh my God. All right, it's time for some lowland herping. We're heading towards Lupamaza camp now, and I'm very, very excited for what's ahead. There's always good things to be found in the lowlands, always several snake species waiting, and it rained a lot in the daytime, but it looks to be somewhat clear now, so fingers crossed for a dry night, and then we already could turn up some good stuff. And without further ado, let's go. We actually found the world's biggest river toad here. Look at the size of this Phrynoidis juxtasper. Oh, come here, boy. There we go. Observe him in all his glory. Absolutely enormous. What a beast. Holy shit, guys. We were just hiking like along the edge of the stream, and Dasha out of nowhere spots a snake on this rock, picks it up, and it's actually one of the rarest reed snakes in the whole of Borneo, and one we've been looking for here for so unbelievably long. Now, I'm being really careful not to accidentally drop it in the water and lose it forever. It's only known from like one specimen and a couple, like one photo or two photos max from the field. Like a good one has never been like properly photographed, and it is incredibly rare. We knew it was in this area because I saw a DOR here once, really, really close, but I did not think I would ever see one of these alive, let alone in this kind of non-reed snake friendly rainy conditions. And it was just crawling on a rock in the middle of with water all around next to this huge river. That is insane, man. This probably doesn't mean much to most people, but for me, this is like a lifer snake, which is incredibly rare here. And it's one that we always felt like was a dream to see this Sicilian looking snake in the flesh. Incredible find. Look at him go. John, the man, the myth, oh, he almost went in the water. OMG, it's the hole in the head frog. Wow. It has been a long and difficult road to get here, and Max just spotted us our second snake, and here it is on his fanny pack. It's an Apopeltra boa. There we go. This has got to be one of the most brown stick-looking camouflaged ones ever, but fortunately it was just moving on some green plants. So there you go. Look at this goofy-ass snake. No cinnamon roll for us this time. No cinnamon roll whatsoever. Just a very, very cute snake. And a good sign as we move into our second species of the night, soon to be many, many more. All right, the Phuket Ruskies are cooking tonight. They just cooked up my first ever Asphenodipsis laevis in Borneo. It's a tiny little juvenile with an extremely, extremely cute face and a nice orange dorsal spotting. I don't know how evident that is here. Let's see. Yeah, I think you guys can make out something there. But hey, we're up to 3 species now, and I'm very optimistic we can get one more before we wrap it up tonight, which is assuming the other guys don't find anything, which I think they will as well. But that's very, very nice. I've actually, I've been looking for these. They're not too rare in this particular area, but somehow I've just never encountered them. Just every other slug snake you can find here, except this one. Wow, look at that venter. Very cool. All right, we just got species number 4 of the night. It's the rare case of the biting fuscoid. Sometimes when they're in shed like this one is, they tend to be nibbling, which is kind of rare for this species, which we generally associate with never biting. Yeah, and unfortunately it is in shed, so that beautiful green upper body is now not so green, and the rest of it is kind of a grayish brown. I'm sure it'd be absolutely beautiful if it wasn't in shed. You can still see those kind of emeralds just poking through that extra rough layer of skin that's about to come off. But yeah, there we go, another snake species. And let's set the goal to 1 more before the night ends. Come on, the goals keep going up. Today has been a crazy grind, but we are slowly getting to like normal species count. And of course, we got 2 actually really, really cool snakes tonight. One incredibly rare, one just I haven't seen here before. So that's all fine and good. 1 more would make me very, very happy with tonight. Hey, we actually did get 1 more snake before we returned to camp. We got this Asphenodipsis borneensis, yeah. The Bornean dark-necked slug snake, which is, this could very well be the same individual we saw. Nah, it's too big, and it's probably gravid as well. So I'm not gonna handle this one for too long, but The slug snakes are out in absolute force tonight. Like there's been a storm surge of slug snakes around here. Look at them go. And this one, of course, is one of the larger ones, which may look like it's trying to bite me. But no, slug snakes never bite, fortunately. If they did, it would hurt because they have really sharp teeth. Oh, what a nice orange eye you have. Very cool. Yeah, the species are coming through at the end of the day. How nice. Oh, a long night of grinding. We just got back to the other guys. And what's behind Colin? What did they turn up? Oh my God. Adult female Sumatranus with the perfect pattern. Look at it. It's amazing. It's glorious. It's actually... Oh, hello. This one wasn't really defensive at all until I suddenly got in its face quickly. But look at that. This one's like not much bigger than the one we saw in December, and yet somehow it's already yellow and already has black throughout it, which is kind of a scam. But I'm very happy about that for this individual because this is what we were really, really hoping to see tonight. Like seriously, we knew one of these was hanging around in the area, but it had completely disappeared from where it was last night. We thought, damn, it might have been eaten by a king cobra. But no, it just moved to a different spot, and the other guys were able to rustle it up. Fantastic. All right, we put this girl up here, and she's posing beautifully for us, and you can see a really, really amazing Bornean form of the Sumatran pit viper. I really like that if you look close, you can see there's like green on all the scales where it's still undergoing that color transition from green to yellow, although this one is definitely much closer to yellow, and the head is already like so big. Look at that. It's such a good individual. Like it's actually crazy how variable these can be after we saw that one in December that had like no blacks at all at this size, and this one's already like fully transitioned to have the entire like female coloration. I guess it's just individual to individual. I mean, in the peninsular variety, you'd never see one without like black bands at this size, but this one's so unbelievably nice. And this is why like adult female Sumatran pit viper is probably in my 1 or 2 like favorite snakes, or probably the best snake in like tropical Southeast Asia. If Malcolm's is the overall like best viper, adult female Sumatran pit viper can often surpass it as just being ridiculous. Like just look at that head. It's so unbelievably cool, just absolutely amazing. Everything you dream of when you want to come to Southeast Asia and see a pit viper. It's just incredible. Check it out, guys. On the way to dinner, we've got a real life pygmy squirrel on the road. I don't know if you can tell how tiny it is in the video, but it's actually so unbelievably tiny it beggars belief. Like, it's as small as a miniature mouse. Look at him go. All right, here we are, second night in the lowlands, and today we're doing a different spot, the little pouring hot springs area, which is always a fun change from Lupamasa. We have a lot of fun, find a lot of nice things in here. There's a little bit of drizzle in the air, but it's kind of been like this all evening. I'm really, really hoping it doesn't turn into anything more. And Bossman just said the same sub we saw last time is in the same place. So let's go check her out momentarily. So since last time, they've installed the sign for a familiar face up here. That huge, like insanely beautiful golden blue sub, which is extremely gravid, is still in the same tree over a month later from when we last saw her. And yeah, she's probably close, must be close to I mean, I thought she was close to popping a month ago. Must be crazy now. But it's so funny how they installed this sign here. Look at that. All right, we've arrived in pouring and we're already sub-maxing. There's our second one. It's a little juvenile female this time. Like minimum size after the other one was almost maximum size. Look at her. She's spotted us even from this far away. All right, I just spotted our third sub of the walk, and it's a life stage we very, very rarely see actually. It's the kind of early transition female, which you can already see has like yellow and blues on the face. The bright red eye has already come in, but the body is still bright green, despite the blues already starting to show on the flanks. It's actually a really beautiful life stage. Typically, we don't associate a cool color morph with this green. We're always waiting for them to turn like bright golden yellow or something like that. But it's still actually a really, really nice contrast. Looks very much like the Philippine adult ones, obviously with less thick bands, like very, very much more intense. But this is just perfectly in situ here. And look how low it is off the ground. Like that's a maximum of like 20 cm off the ground, which is really, really rare. Probably the lowest ambushing female I've ever seen, which is cool because now we've seen all 3 life stages in the first few minutes of our walk. And that's a really beautiful individual. I'm just gonna leave it in here, not gonna mess with it. All right, some snakes are showing up tonight. Very quickly, we got this lovely Ahatula fasciolata, which is a species we've seen in this exact tiny area here quite a few times before. And so far, the rain is holding off to just a light drizzle. So if it continues like this, I'm hopeful we can find quite a few more snakes. There's a very, very nice, very pale colored vine snake with a lot of checkering on the neck there. And the head shape is also substantially different to like the typical Prasina. I don't know really how to describe it, but it's just very visible when you've seen a lot of each. But yeah, that's very cool. I'm going to keep moving.
I want to take a picture.
All right, Dasha just found the Lycodon albifuscus, which we think must have just eaten a snake or something, because its body is really, really like, it's not as slender as they usually are. And if you can see at certain angles that you can make out like faint bands, which I think is like just because it's extended, and you can see this weird like remnant pattern, because as you guys know, we've seen them a few times on the channel, the juveniles are like really, really heavily banded. They're like krait black and white banded when they're juveniles, and they lose it. Yeah, you can see it really well at this angle here. It's actually a really big one as well. That's why it's so funny to see it like with bands, because usually by this size you'd associate them with losing all bands. But we discovered a new thing today, that if the scales are all puffed out and the body's stretched, you can still make out remnant bands on this snake, which is an interesting feature I never knew about until now. This one's also not a biter, which is very nice, but as typical albifuscus go, it's also just refusing to cooperate and be held. And we've played with this one for a couple of minutes now. We've been looking at it, and it hasn't regurged any snake that it's eaten, which is good. We'll never know what it was. Maybe it was Valuans. No, it wasn't, obviously. But yeah, very nice. That's species number 3 of just a very short amount of work for just a very short amount of walking. Unfortunately, after that very promising start, our luck has run thin, and we're on a bit of a snake drought. And it is so cold here. Like, this is the coldest I've ever felt in this area. Like, some nights you come in here, it can be blazing hot. You have to put your bag down to hike, but it's just so cool and humid. It's not even a problem at all. All right, we're out of the jungle after a kind of a turbo skunking, and now we're checking out some other areas. Hopefully something will show up. We're going to give it at least another hour of hiking around here. Hey, we turned up a snake, look. A baby Dendrophila, perfect timing. It's arrived when all hope seemed lost. And that's our 4th species of the night. So we're not doing too bad. Hopefully we can turn up another. Let me get my light on, good mode.
And it's not trying to bite.
No, these Bornean ones, especially the juveniles, are kind of chill. Look at him, he's so cute. Just crawling along the bridge here as well. What a lovely sight for sore eyes. The longest break we've had without snakes, maybe the entire trip, even though the night started off very well. And we got this beautiful Dendrophila here. Very, very nice. Let's continue. All right, so after what was just one of the most incredibly slow sections of any night we've done here, we had a great start, then saw like pretty much one Boiga Dendrophila in hours afterwards. We were about to call it a night. And me and David split up at the stream. I walked the road and he walked this little rocky stream. And then he starts like calling me, saying, come back immediately. So we run back, and this is what we find. Let's take a look at his arm here. Those who know will know, but look what the boss man has. The blue paste, it's finally arrived. The region's best and stinkiest snake has finally showed its goddamn face, man. I was getting so pissed off with this snake, because the first couple times we ever came here on excerpt trips, we found like 3 individuals with minimal effort, and every expedition we ran since then, we've just been grinding and seen nothing. In fact, earlier this trip, we saw a DOR in the highlands, which I was telling the guys is a really good sign. Even though seeing a DOR is never good, when these are moving, they tend to be moving. Although this particular individual wasn't moving. Where actually did you find it?
Like, it was like in the buttress of like a tree, just like resting. And I just saw like a few scales and thought it was a wolf snake at first for some inexplicable reason.
Wow, that is crazy. Man, this is just like the one freaking showstopper we could have found on this trip that would really take it to the next level, because this trip has already been absolutely insane. We elevated things on this trip by getting an adult female Sumatran pit viper last night, and just took it to a whole new level tonight with what is, without a doubt, the most desirable snake in the region. We call Malcolmi the holy grail of Mount Kinabalu, but this snake has without a doubt become more of like a white whale for us. Obviously, for me, I've ever seen it many times before, but it's just like, It's been over a year since the last one, and I've been here so many times, and other people have been seeing them in the meantime, and it's just like, where is my luck? It turned out I just needed to bring David here, and we ran some good old X-herp tactics to find stuff, and in one of the places I'd herped the most, it finally showed up. Obviously these guys are like super docile, these red-headed krait family. I've played with these guys a lot in the past, and they've never shown any inclination to bite. They're very shy. They don't like being touched too much, but this one's kind of chill now. You can take a closer look. I think I can get it to sit still on the ground here. Look at that, guys. We literally only just first got a look at this, and it's already sitting still. We're not doing any photography. Just basically we're all gathered round gazing upon the majesty of this incredible beast. Look at that. Are you gonna start moving now? Up, straight into head hiding mode. There you go. Oh, look at it, it's so cute. Oh, I dropped my phone. There we go. I'll just do a little bit more filming because this is gonna be the last time on the channel for probably a very long time, close to a year before I'm back in Borneo and can show this snake again. So we gotta make sure we get every drop that it's worth, show it in every different angle. And this obviously isn't the best one with it jumping around everywhere, but it is one of the many angles. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, I got the gang hanging around. The guys who stuck it out late were paid off with some seriously exciting stuff. Good times, good times. A little bit of celebration here at the table after what's been one of the best nights we've had here in a while. Hold on, bring that over. Bring that over. Let's peep that briefly.
For sure.
Lizard repellent.
What the shit?
And it's been like used. The whole thing's been used already.
Do you see any lizards? Kill them.
Success.